Video game movies are generally looked down upon, but Detective Pikachu might just change that. If you're like me, an elder Pokemon fan who has always wondered what Pokemon might look like in real life, then you are in for a treat and a little bit of disappointment. I'm your host, Ice Ant-Man, this is Gamebookr, and welcome to our review of Detective Pikachu. Detective Pikachu is a family-friendly movie set in the universe of Pokemon. It was directed by Rob Letterman, stars Justin Smith as Tim Goodman, and Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu. Similar to the game, the story of the movie Detective Pikachu has to do with Tim Goodman searching for his estranged father. And with the help of a coffee-loving Detective Pikachu with amnesia, he might just be able to do so. They journey across Rhyme City, meeting various people and Pokemon, allies and foes alike, to search for clues about what happened to Tim's father. Justice Smith does a good job interacting with creatures that aren't really there. Well, he did have some practice during Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom. In Detective Pikachu, Smith plays a 21-year-old guy who sort of has daddy issues and is able to portray that persona pretty well. He's only been in the movie industry for about 7 years, so it's safe to say that he still needs a bit of improvement and some more movies in his history to really be able to capture the audience. But overall, he was able to give the character justice. Ryan Reynolds, on the other hand, as Detective Pikachu, sounded a bit strange at first to a lot of people, especially the ones who aren't familiar with the game. But in the end, it worked out great and is actually kind of the reason why this movie turned out a little better than it should be. Reynolds' witty quips and side comments worked very well in contrast with Pikachu's appearance, especially when they used his own voice to actually say Pika. I gotta admit though, the few times they didn't use Ryan Reynolds' voice and actually used the traditional Pikachu voice was kind of refreshing to hear. The film felt a bit rushed but slow-paced at the same time. What do I mean, you ask? For example, I felt that they weren't able to go in depth with any of the character motivations, and in return, the audience won't really get to connect with them. And of course, there were some scenes that they could have cut short in order to make room for other more important details. Also, the way the story progressed felt a bit dragging at times and was only compensated by the fact that there were Pokemon on the screen. Well, that's really all I can say without spoiling anything. The special effects and the music/sound were this movie's saving grace, aside from Ryan Reynolds being Pikachu. The way they put supposedly unrealistic creatures into the real world and made them look super realistic is nothing short of amazing. I didn't even think that it would be possible for them to pull off putting a Machamp in this movie. Someone who's essentially a really buff guy with 4 arms, wearing a black Speedo and a belt. But they did it. They pulled it off. The Pokemon in the movie did not look out of place at all, although that could be because the Pokemon they used were mostly animal-type Pokemon, and not so much inanimate object Pokemon like Magnemite and Voltorb. Unless they were actually there and I didn't notice them due to the clutter of people and Pokemon casually strolling around the city. As for the music, they were able to complement the way each scene wanted the audience to feel, and even included some nostalgia as an extra bonus. You'll see. The sound effects were only lacking in the sense that some Pokemon made sounds that were very different from how they sounded in the anime. Although maybe it's just because we grew up with the anime and it's probably not a bad decision on their part to change it up. Detective Pikachu will entertain younger and older fans of the franchise alike. A lot of us have been following the game and/or the anime for a long time now, ever since we were children. So it's not a surprise that the age group of the target audience of the movie ranges by around 20 years. And that alone must have been a challenge when writing the script of the movie. And it kind of showed. There were some jokes that were meant for the older fans and some for the younger ones, which made some of the punchlines feel either half-baked or forced. But all in all, I enjoyed it as a Pokemon fan. And I think you will too. If you are a big fan of Pokemon, then this is definitely a must-watch. If not, and you still decide to watch it, it still is enjoyable, but there will be some details that you will not be able to appreciate. Either way, this is as good a video game movie adaptation is going to get. By the end of the movie, I walked out of there wanting to have my own partner Pokemon, just like how I felt the first time I ever played the game as a kid. So anyway, Gamebookr's rating for Detective Pikachu is a 7.5. Legit, but we expected more. Well, that's it for this movie review. Again, I'm Ice Ant-Man, and for more videos like this one and also video game related videos and streams, don't forget to follow Gamebookr on Facebook and on YouTube. Thanks for watching.